But then, if the Americans jump into the conflict, then Iran won't have too many options. I mean, essentially, it'll just have two options. Option one would be to just calculate that there's no way that it could come out of such a conflict in any position of advantage, and then the best thing would probably be to try and find the best possible deal that it can from a position of acute weakness. That'll be option one. And that would mean the kind of pressure on the regime which would be very difficult to sustain. Option two would be them saying, well, we are in an existential crisis, so might as well go all out. And all out would mean throwing everything that they have and the conflict, and that would that could inflame the entire region.
Right, exactly. Obviously, it's not it's not an easy decision for Iran's government or what's left of it at this point. And I think another question that's unclear. I mean, Israel had originally said that its objectives are targeting Iran's nuclear weapons development and so on. But in more recent days, the signaling from Israel suggests that the Israelis want to target the actual Iranian state and the Iranian regime. And indeed, the fact that they did hit the state broadcaster in Iran yesterday is perhaps telling in that regard. But look, I think that Iran is in a very difficult position where it's getting a significant amount of diplomatic and moral support from around the Middle East and beyond, but it's not very clear to me at all that Iran would be in a position to develop on any type of support beyond non-kinetic support. In other words, I can't imagine that Iran in any time in the foreseeable future would be able to depend on military support from other countries unless things really escalate in a big way. So I would agree that Iran would likely want to negotiate some type of deal at some point. It might be that President Trump's recent statements are meant to put pressure on Iran to move toward that very point. I mean, this fact that he's releasing the statement where the White House is pointing to all these times where Trump has said that Iran can absolutely not have a nuclear weapon. Maybe the intention there, and this is something that Trump likes to do, is to essentially use a pressure tactic to essentially bully adversaries into conceding to what the U.S. would like to see. And the administration would like to see this conflict end. I feel fairly confident about that. But at the same time, the administration has to deal with this very special relationship with Israel.